We continue stillness, and today is the solstice, but for my sake, you need to spell it the way I see it in my head, which is S-O-U-L-stice, solstice. Because, not just because the topic of the month is stillness, in addition to that, it's because solstice, that time of the year, it's the shortest day and the longest night, and it actually technically means sun stands still. And it's that time of year when the light changes, and that's why it's often referred to as the season of lights, both with Hanukkah and Christmas, the lights and the change and the softness and the winter, and all of that is nature, in my opinion, nature's invitation for us to get still. Because we, being of the Western culture and society, we tend not to do that so well. We tend to, somehow there's this impulsion that the busier is better. The more we can do, the louder and grander and the bigger font that we can spell our names in life, that it's better. And yet, y'all start coming to a place like this. It's why? Because there's something about it that calls you to that sacred stillness within. Something ancient echoes within you that says, peace, be still. Let me know this truth. Well, I'm going to say a little something from... Okay, we're religious science, for those of you who are new. Science of mind, religious science, we are open at the top, and we don't teach specific things. And one of those things that we don't normally ascribe to are some of the other new thought metaphysical paradigms. But I did happen to look on the internet today, and Kathy Pagano, an astrologer, mentions that winter solstice occurs just hours before the Capricorn new moon, which perfect timing. And this is a time to imagine and create a new cosmic story that can shape our awareness of the possibilities before us. So I am not quoting an astrologer saying, okay, go home and check your horoscope for the day, and if it says do not go out the door, etc. What I'm saying is that there are so many modalities, so many tools, and we are open at the top. And if there is something in just that sentence that calls to you about a new moon and a new possibility to create our cosmic wealth, then I say go for it. Let's do it. Because here we are at the solstice. It's the time rooted in ancient tradition, as I said, and actually it's a celebration of the god of Saturn, which sounds astrological, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about astronomy, the god of Saturn, Saturnalia. It's also a holiday where a lot of the pagans worshipped Mithra. So it's a time where we get to celebrate the light that we see externally. Ooh, sparkly. I sparkled today. I'm hoping it matches Catherine's. We celebrate the external light, and the charge that I have for those of you who come into our center is to celebrate the internal light. And as it says, let your light so shine before men and women that they see your good works, Matthew. So it's the winter solstice. It is a time where it's okay to get still and quiet. Among the hustle and the bustle, one of my favorite, you all know that my love language is gift giving. So I have a very large gift closet. My bigger challenge is the fact that I forget that I've already bought gifts for everybody and they're in there. Because here's this call to go shopping and buy gifts. And mostly everything was bought months ago. Yet, the thing that I love to do the most is put myself smack in the middle of the busiest shopping day. And I'll probably go out again on Christmas Eve. Because I've already shopped. So there isn't what am I going to get and who is it? And I don't have a list. What it is I just get to stand there and watch and realize that there's a process of giving that's going on. And at least I know I'm representing that true nature of giving and receiving. And that hustle and that bustle. And then I came home and I meditated. It was delicious. That's the oxymoronic quality of what we do in this world and in this lifetime. The yin and the yang, the light and the dark, all as one. So we get to celebrate and sing and dance and party and sparkle, and we get to turn within to the winter solstice. Jenny Julian sent me a poem by email this week that's called Winter Solstice Greetings, and I thought it was so lovely that I would share it with you. A blanket of snow glistens fluffy and white and tucks us in, oh, so cozy for a long winter night. We'll light one white candle. Let busy minds release all the cares of the day for a moment of peace. On this longest of nights and this shortest of days, thank the great universe for the sun's growing rays. From our house to yours, Yuletide blessings we send. So gracious life cycle, no beginnings, no end. For those who aren't here, we've a hole in our lives, but because we're all one, their spirit survives. Their breath in the wind, their voices are heard in the chirping of crickets and the sweet singing birds. In the great scheme of things, we're connected to all. If one of us stumbles, another may fall. So gather your loved ones, your friends and your foes. We're all in this together. Yes, that's how it goes. Mother Nature can teach us. She'll know and show us what's best. If we can learn from life's lessons, she'll do the rest. So let's light our candles on winter solstice night. Celebrate kindred spirit and be one with the light. A blessed winter solstice to all. That's by Janet K. Rausch. And I love that because it's about, again, the holiday, the solstice, the winteriness, and yet the new thoughts and the oneness that we talk about, that we teach. Somehow it seems for more people that that concept of oneness is easier to access during this winter time, during solstice, during the holy days, holidays. Because we know that, we feel connected by our breath, we feel connected by that warmth when we bundle up in a coat and a scarf, we feel connected by a hug, warm cider and cinnamon smelling cookies, gluten-free, cinnamon smelling, And the call to go within as we change these seasons, as we move from the dark night, the shortest day and the longest night. What a concept. That gives us more meditation time. Hint, hint. So we have this opportunity to use what nature and the calendar have provided us as an invitation to go within. And that gets us ready once again for Christmas. So I have another. This is Christmas Within an Inner Silence. Notice, all of these have to do with stillness. This little poem is written by Elizabeth Searle Lamb. Beyond celebration of gift and carol, candlelighting and Merry Christmas, there is still another ritual of season, when I turn within to the still center of my being, celebrating within the shape of silence, the star radiance, the birth love, the peace angel. Let vibrations flow out from the center's energy to bless, to heal, to give the gift of radiant love. And you know what? Even at all the stores I went to yesterday, there were sales and there were packages and there was all of that. And all I could see was an opportunity for more love. Because when you would see someone go, oh, look, this would be so perfect for him. Love. Then there's also that part, oh my gosh, I've got a 20% coupon. Love it. I take love in all shapes, forms, and sizes. It is a call to love. It is a call to the light that is within, the light that surrounds us, the light that is within us, and it is a call for stillness. And I thought, this is, in addition to our candlelight services coming up, I'm not here next Sunday. We have our annual tradition, and Kathy Zavada comes in and closes out the year and gives us that breath of music and beauty and stillness into the new year. And so this is like I get the last chance I get to say to you these things about stillness, this invitation, because I know that most of you will somewhere between Christmas Eve and then New Year's Day take stock about what it is that you've achieved, and I encourage it to be one where you look at the blessings, that count the blessings, and perhaps look at what it is you wish to create for the new year, what you might want to add, shift, or change, as opposed to, I didn't do that this year, darn it. Instead of beating yourself up, what I'd like you to do is acknowledge the good. I'd like you to turn within and say, wow, look what I accomplished. And I know, I'm in the human Western form too. There's going to be a little voice goes, yeah, that's really nice, but what about that project you said you were going to finish? Thank you for reminding me. And then, and I remember I got to see this person, and I was able to go to that place, and then that other voice is going to go, oh, yeah, but did you accomplish the goals that you made at the beginning of How nice. Bless that list, bless that reminder, that part of you that wants to come forth and nibble away at the solidity of your stillness. Just bless it and release it. If you don't judge it, if you don't try and stop and put it back, and if you do not resist it, it will dissolve. And it will go back into the stillness by which you may create the cradle and the manger of possibility where you do give birth to the new season, to the new light that is within you that's been called forth, which is one of the reasons we love to celebrate candlelight at Christmas, because it talks about the light. So I'm talking about stillness. And I'm moving while I'm talking about stillness. And that's the beauty of it. Because we are always in motion. We teach, and scientifically all of the physicists agree with us, that nothing is static. Everything is vibrating right now in all kinds of ways. Some we can see, some we cannot. So it is even more important that we get to a place within our wholeness, our being, and that place of stillness by which we may access the universe. Why is it important to be still? Because of that, so that you can hear that still small voice. As I said earlier, we've all been programmed that somehow it's better to do more, to stay busy, that idleness, there was some old affirmation or proverb about idleness is the devil's plaything or something. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know the correct one because I don't want it in my consciousness. But I know that it's there, and it was out there for some. And so when we are sitting there being still and restful or relaxing or idle, eventually there's going to be a little, shouldn't you be doing something? Remember as kids when we used to daydream? We could just sit and look out the window or be outside, see a tree or watch a bug on the grass. And we could just do that forever and ever and ever until some adult walked by and said, don't you have homework to do? Did you make your bed? Did you call your grandmother? And right. And we snap to it and we go. And so somewhere along the line, we got trained, consciously or otherwise, that being still and quiet may not be the best thing to do. It's kind of this secret little thing that we do. Maybe that's why Jesus talked about go into your closet to pray, because he didn't want to be disturbed by people saying, hey, Jesus, did you remember to turn the water into wine before the party? So he kind of went to the closet like, oh, my, So we may have learned that stillness is equated with idleness, which is equated with not being productive, successful, or the best that you can be. And then you find yourself drawn to a metaphysical center or teaching, whether it's Buddhist, whether it's religious science, whether it's any of those things, and there's something that says, come within, turn within, be still and know that I am that presence. And we start to go, oh, okay. And so we have to find our way to balance that. And so we must use, even if we use our electronic smart devices, perhaps that's the way to do it. Program a reminder. Beep, 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 beep. Duchess, it's time to meditate. Snooze. Siri lets me snooze things every so often. Dangerous. I don't actually have a reminder on my cell phone to meditate. I thought it might appeal to some of you. Whatever it takes. I have a cat that reminds me. Beauregard is the one that comes to get me in the morning if I haven't gone into the prayer chair. So I have my external reminders, but I have a deeper internal reminder. Was it there all along? No. You've heard me tons of Sundays where I've talked about it. It's very, very difficult, especially in the beginning when I began this practice, when I started a spiritual journey, to sit still. But I have things to do. I want to dance. I want to play. I want to party. Mind's going racing. And now, what I've known even, and John mentioned it in the meditation this morning, the thoughts are going to be there, but I may still be in this stillness and the receptivity of spirit. Karen Casey writes, with every desire to speak, let the moment pass. Every moment can be forfeited. Feel the freedom of doing nothing, saying nothing, thinking nothing for even a few moments. Peace does come, peace at last. We can't be sure we'll know anything specific in this quiet time, but we know we will know what we need to know. Within the quiet lie all answers. Within the quiet lie all the answers. So isn't it funny that we're trained to have our human ears out here to listen for the answers? We're trained not to use the very gift that all of us have been given in terms of an intuitive power, a sensing something. Yes, some people have it far more strengthened than others, but we all have that intuitive power. We all have that capability of listening to our higher self to know a greater truth. All the answers lie within. They even say that in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. So wherever you go, whether you're looking at a cinema or whether you're doing a meditative practice and a retreat, you go within. And I imagine that at this time of year that we celebrate the external birth of Jesus the Christ, that's exactly what Mary did in the realization of what was to come. And so to support that, to bring forth a greater experience that in the psychology of music, we have another special song.
Did you
beautiful music and then not have the automatic response of having to acknowledge it applause, but to let it penetrate the stillness. And then I've often talked about that sometimes there are these pieces and it's like, I know everybody wants beautiful or thank you and all of that, and we're used to applauding, and yet something like that, you just want to be in the stillness of it. And the song, how perfect, because how could you have known, is exactly what I'm saying. Did Mary say a prayer? I would like to say yes, because we're all one, so I'm going to say that part of me that is Mary, was Mary, absolutely, I'd say probably a few prayers actually in that case. How could she have known? By going to that stillness, by the intuitive state? And if you take the metaphorical story of the Immaculate Conception and what took place, she knew. And she didn't know from people around her saying to her that. The story is an angel came to remind her. Well, what is the angel? The angels are messenger of God. What does that mean? It's the message of our intuition. So how could she have known? From that stillness. That's how she knew. That's how she knew. So I have another Christmas story to finish us out because it matches that. And this one is written by Stanley Haluska. From the very beginning of time, there was a promise and a hope that there would be one who would come, one who would show the way, one who would be a light in the darkness, who would be one inseparable from the Creator, and by this very being would express the truth of our human existence. It had been prophesied from times of old that there would be a child born who would rightfully inherit their father's kingdom, a king of all kings, a lord of all lords, and one who by their very nature would bring peace, balance, and harmony, tranquility and serenity to this world and to all whom they encountered. The world yearned for their coming, the birth of a child, the fulfilled promise. All the earth and the heavens yearned for the coming of this child. Wise men foretold and saw the signs in the heaven, for indeed it was to come to pass that a child would be born. A holy child. A child filled with knowing, a child filled with love and understanding, one worthy to inherit their Father's kingdom on this earth, one who by their very nature would bring peace, one whom by their very being would bring love, and by the very existence would bring understanding of who they truly are and where they dwell. The world, and indeed the heavens, yearned for the birth of this child, the Christ child, for the universe would not be complete, nor would the world ever be the same again. So it came to pass, in the perfection and fulfillment of time, that this child was brought forth into the world. This child was announced by the angels of heaven that the fulfilled promise had come, for God had become humanity. A new star appeared in the heavens, for a great soul, a master, had been born into this world. Then, in the innocence and the wonderment of this new experience, you took your very first breath. Catch that stillness that we just shared. So it doesn't matter what religion you may have been raised or how you were brought up about Christmas Eve and Jesus the Christ or Mary or Hanukkah or any of the holidays. It is, by the very nature of our construct here in New Thought and metaphysics, meta meaning above and beyond, the physical, the nature of the Christ consciousness within us that we celebrate and acknowledge as the birth of the Christ child. So we have, whether we have astrology talking about a new moon and Capricorn and new beginnings, or we have holy days by which candles are lit and carols are sung and feasts are fed, we have this deep inner call that has been woven into the fabric of our DNA from time immemorial, before we even emerged into this existence. To turn to that stillness, to connect with the oneness, to be in the light of our true consciousness. That's our call today. That's how we move forward into our Christmas presents, both spellings, Christmas presents and Christmas presents. We do that from that stillness, from the recognition, the acknowledgement, and the reverence of what takes place at this time of year by the holy days. as we prepare to move into the rest of the holiday season, into the new and sparkly new year. Don't get ready. Be ready. Let's pray. And so to do this prayer, I ask that we begin in a few moments of stillness and quiet together, and then I'll speak a few words, and then we'll be still again to sanctify the stillness and the experience. And so from that stillness, we now come together in consciousness to know that there is one life. That life is God or Spirit, call it what you will, or just call it life with a capital L. And that life, God, Spirit, is perfect. And at this time of year, particularly from this stillness, that which we have created in this service today, we know that life of God is my life, our life, the one life. And so from that, we are now free to experience the stillness and the grace of our being, to embrace and accept and receive the gift of the season. That gift that comes on a night like this, Soulstice, calling to our ancient soul that remembers the oneness from whence we came. And as we do that, and we honor and recognize the quietness, the stillness, we may create, we may express, we may feel, we may affirm, and we may know that which we seek. And then suddenly we realize that that which we seek has been seeking us all along, and there's never been a gap in the middle. And we become one. And in that mystical, cosmic moment, all is right with the world. And so we return to this stillness again and again and again, so that we know that so deeply from the fabric of our soul, that it exudes from us in every way, shape, and form, today and tomorrow's tomorrow, on into the new year, but mostly right here, right now. And so as we say this prayer, as we know this truth for ourselves, we can now know it in harmony with souls across the planet. It doesn't matter what part of the divide or what time zone, or whether they're sitting in a temple or an ashram or in someone's attic, the basement, in an auditorium where they're meeting together to know their grace of this consciousness. This prayer, this knowingness is now there in the cosmos, available. I speak this prayer knowing that to be so. And that is the gift that I was given, and that is the gift I give back. And it does become one cycle of giving and receiving the presence of Spirit, the Christmas presence, the Christmas, the holy light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As with any present, we say thank you. We are grateful for that which we have been given and continues to be given and received, and back into that beautiful circle. And we release this and let it shine as a bright light in these holidays, so that all may see. Men, women, children, and animals, let their light so shine that all see the good works from within. Breathe and let that go. Know that that gift has been given and received, and you are whole, complete, and perfect right here, right now, from the soulstice of your being. Please join me together as we say, and so it is, and so I am, And so we are. Amen. So it's at this time what we do is our offering. And how we do it here, some of you know this by heart, and some of you are new. We want to take whatever that gift is today, and we place it over our heart so that it's conscious giving. And then we have a song that Catherine's going to lead, and you may listen to it as if it's the first time, or you may sing along because it helps to echo that resonance, or you can read along. Just be with that presence as we give forth our gift. Oh, sorry. Oh, I guess it is. I'm sorry. I'm so used to everybody else using the other one. They don't have your vocal chops.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I have, and all that I receive. And so it is.
shaker. Maureen got left out. Maureen Honkard. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maureen, I didn't know you were a shaker. I thought you were a religious scientist. I know. Keep your day job. Little sparkly ones. Careful. Hello, Eloise. What do you have to say today? You have an ornament? It is beautiful. You have an ornament? It's a snowflake.
The back.
Okay, I'll look on the back. Oh, I'll look at the back. Okay, I don't have to do that. God is Christmas. Oh, look, and you spelled Christmas, Christ in red and Mas in green. God is you, Christmas. This is, and then God is Dad. Okay, and then what does that one say? You tell him. Can you tell?
Mom.
Mom. Oh, yeah. And so is the snowflake in honor of what you're going to do tonight?
No.
They don't. Do they know what they're doing tonight? Yeah, I do. Oh, they don't. I'll keep it a surprise then.
Making hot cocoa tomorrow.
Hot cocoa tomorrow.
No,
Okay.
tonight.
Tonight, hot cocoa? And you have a special treat for you tonight, too, which I guess is now a... It's beautiful. All of it. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we... Yeah, I usually do. Can you say Merry Christmas?
18.
Yeah. Okay, now we have something we say to them, and how we do it is we hold our hands up because we are the instruments of light and that energy, and we have a blessing that we say to them. We see you, we hear you, we love you, and we bless you. And we are here for you. Be careful. Don't walk into the... Wait, you guys, I have your ornaments. You have to take these home to Mom and Dad and their ornaments. Oh, can you get that one? Okay. I love the red dresses. So beautiful. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so we're not having social hour because I know everybody's got plans, and we've got our candlelight service this evening. And please join us for either tonight's or Christmas Eve. I think it's wonderful that we get to do two. So we could stand up and we can sing the peace song together, please. And except for the Christmas candle stuff, I'll see you next year.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the place that we go to be. With God as great joy, spiritual are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath we take, let this be the joyous love. To take it from it and live it from it to peace eternally. Let there be peace of you, and let it begin with me.
I embrace the stillness that is within me. Please repeat that.
I embrace the stillness within me.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, take the affirmations home, try them on for size, embrace the stillness, embrace the holidays, embrace yourselves. Happy, happy Christmas, happy New Year, and so it is.
And so it is.